This is Jess from Bring the Noise, and we're here with Gallows. How are you all?
Good.
Great, thank you.
You're wonderful. Okay. So you've just wrapped up the new album. How's it sounding? When can we expect to hear it?
It's coming out September. Anyone know the date?
No, I don't know the date because it's I think it's September the 10th actually. And well done, Lee. And yeah, no, we're really pleased how it turned out. We got the mixes back yesterday actually. We've just been like fine tuning and tweaking everything. It sounds
great. Sounds
good.
Awesome.
We're really pleased.
How has it moved on from the older Gallows records?
Well, I think it's just better songs. To be honest, this album has been better recorded, if I have to say it. Like, we spent a lot of money on our last record, recording in a really big high-end studio, but when you're making our kind of a music, it needs to be kind of aggressive and urgent and, you know, just loud and brash, and, you know, we definitely did it with this record.
I feel like maybe the last record was this massive concept, you know, and I think like conceptually this is just it's more focused, you know. It's more about the songs as opposed to some big like overhanging idea, and I think in stripping it back like that, you know, you get to what I think playing this kind of music is all about, and, you know, I mean, like ripping the guts out of the songs and, you know, making it violent and making it beautiful sounding, and like records about as tender as a funeral. It's the best thing the band's ever done.
You turned the album around pretty quickly from Wade joining the band, so were a lot of the tracks already in place?
Yeah, my Lags had a lot of things demoed because Great Britain had come out in 2009, I think. So there's been a lot of time there with people laying down ideas and just having them lying around and stuff. So when we came to sit down to do this, there was a lot of riffs there. So for once we're in a position where we're in the studio with an idea that, so the song organically grew around this rather than being in a room going, oh, we've got to start from scratch and doing it that way. The songs kind of came together around existing ideas that suddenly found their identity when Wade came in with the lyrics, and a lot of arrangement ideas came up like that. So it's very much an organic kind of group process rather than here's finished songs going right, the lyrics done. So.
Is the Death is Birth EP a good indication of kind of where the new album's going?
I wouldn't say so, no. Well, Death is Birth is like quite. It was very rushed when we did it. We pretty much wrote and recorded it in a couple of days, and it was, you know, no one really knew what was going on. It was a really strange space for a band. Obviously, like Wade, for Wade it was really weird joining a new band. For us, it was really weird. Yeah, he's always weird anyway.
So weird.
And we're in the States, you know, that's where we recorded and wrote that EP, which was the first for us. We've always done everything in London and Watford. So to be in this place where, for me anyway, when you're surrounded by palm trees and swimming pools, and we were staying in this like ridiculous beach house kind of thing, it was kind of weird to find that dark place really that I think our music needs. But you know, it served a purpose. It introduced Wade to Gallows, and they're just fast, urgent songs. I think the album's a lot more considered in its focus and its songwriting and stuff. So, you know, it's still Gallows. I think that EP was, but the album's definitely more so like a proper Gallows record.
Yeah, I think the EP is Gallows. This is Gallows.
We know what we mean anyway.
Yeah.
You've announced a string of festival dates as well, including Reading and Leeds, which you've got quite a long relationship with as a band. Are you looking forward to taking the new lineup there and like Wade putting your stamp on?
Yeah, like, you know, we're playing the punk rock stage, like the lock-up stage, which is the best stage at Reading. So yeah, you know, I can't wait to do it again. Like, as a kid going to Reading, you'd always just hang out there all day watching the bands, and it's just, you know, it's really fun for us, like doing it from the other side. Like Wade's obviously played it before, and yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's going to just be the best day, you know. I mean, I think we get to play with a bunch of bands that we respect, you know, and I'd be sitting there watching every one of those bands all day anyways. And it's like, it's Trash Talk, then it's Turbo Negro, then it's us, and
there's a lot of good bands on it that we've toured with as well, like Trash Talk, Every Time I Die, bands like that. So it's just basically going to be a weekend with our mates, like punk rock summer camp. It's going to be like Warped Tour, but it's not going to suck, and it's only 2 days long.
You've championed a lot of British bands like Sharks and stuff. Who are the next kind of British newcomers that we should watch out for?
We're taking 2 British bands out with us on our UK and European tour, which are Feed the Rhino and Brotherhood of the Lake, who are both great bands. They've both got new records, either just out or coming out around the same time as ours. So looking forward to taking those guys out. You should check them out.
And what is your kind of take on the British music scene at the moment?
Well, I think our record's needed, to be honest. I think in our absence, there's a lot of shit that probably would have been derided before that's kind of floated to the top. Like, you know, those nasty bits of shit when you've had too many beers kind of goes to the surface. So we're here to pull the chain on all the crap bands again and get our record out there.
And Wade, people know you for being the guitarist in Alexis. Are you going to be getting the guitar out on the new album?
Yeah, I play guitar on a few of the tracks, and yeah, I'd imagine that's going to end up working its way into the set at some point, you know. I don't think I'll be able to resist, you know. Just long, self-indulgent solos. That's what writing's going to be.
And you played Download earlier this month, and something kind of seemed to click within the band when you were on stage. How have you found the new lineup kind of transition into live shows?
Well, we've in the short time that, you know, this lineup's been there, just about a year now, we've done a lot of shows. We went straight onto the AP tour pretty much like the week we announced Wade being in the band, you know, and that was like, what was it, like 10 weeks of solid shows in the States. So we pretty much got our live game down, and as I'm sure as you'll see tonight, it's you know, it's still the ferocious live shows that we've built our name for, but it's, you know, we can actually play the songs now, and everything's wicked. Like, you'll see.
We've practiced now.
We've practiced more since Wade joined the band in that 1 year than we have in the 5.5 years of our existence. So it's great.
So tonight you're playing a 120 capacity venue, and you're going to be bringing out some new songs. How are you feeling about the whole thing?
Excited. It's just like, I don't think people are just going to be standing there with their phones out going, oh, this is a new song, got it on YouTube. I just think, hopefully, you know, kids are going to lose their shit. We're going to throw it into the middle of the set, so everyone's just going to be going with the flow already. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like, we got here and they asked us, like, when they want us to pull the plug, like, depending on how crazy it gets, and we just said, like, I want it to be as close to a prison riot without people getting stabbed, you know? Or stabbed. If you feel like doing it, do it.
The new stuff's like we did it in what was it, Switzerland? We dropped a new song in our set in Switzerland. So it's not actually the first time we've played it, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
Well, we sound checked with it. So it's the same thing.
I guess when you got hit in the head with
I
that
took a full
you thought we played the
pint
new
of
song.
beer to the face at that show. So
It was literally the best thing I've ever seen.
It was great. I feel like it was going for me too. Like, we started the show and there's just this huge guy with the biggest beard, some guy with a shaved head, and he had this massive beer. And I just took his beer, drank most of it, and then spit it in his face, and just setting the tone for the evening. You know what I mean? He was excited. He wasn't like, he wasn't trying to knock me out or anything.
And then he bought another beer.
But then he got this other beer and just threw it right at Stu's head.
So that was nice.
And with all the lights, it just kind of exploded and then evaporated, and it was just beautiful.
It's like fireworks.
So this actually is, I stand corrected, the first time we've ever played it in a show capacity. I think, I mean, the new stuff's going to fit pretty seamlessly in amongst the orchestra walls and Great Britain material, so you have to keep your ears and eyes peeled for when it drops.
And lastly, are there any kind of songs that you've had to drop from the sets, that ones that you always play, just to make the room for the new stuff?
Eventually that's going to happen,
And I cannot wait to drop some of the old songs. I mean, when did Orchestra Walls come out?
2006.
So we've been playing some of that shit since 2006. I'm ready to bring some new stuff into the set.
And Wade, you're honorary Londoner now. How's that going?
Been here for 2 months straight, just getting rained on, eating fish and chips, you know, going to football games, you know, just a strong cup of tea, the Jubilee, soccer on the television, Gallows on the radio.
Football on the television.
Football on the television, Gallows, England, Wade.
Okay, thank you for talking to us. Have a good show.
All right, cheers.